Attaching the sleeve. This is the most challenging part of knitting, is attaching a set-in sleeve. And it is a challenge. That's all there is to it. I use the mattress stitch and then variation of the mattress stitch, because when you're doing the underarm it lines up beautifully, and when you're doing the horizontal to the vertical it lines up beautifully. I mean, you'll find all kinds of videos on the internet about how to do that. And then there is this weird transition zone here where I've never quite figured out how to do it, but I just try to make it look nice. And you end up with a very beautiful, professional looking sleeve. So the way I want you to do that, there's a few things I want you to do. One is I want you to find where the center of your underarm is and mark it with a pin or a locking pin, locking stitch marker. I don't know what these are called. So there's two key points on your garment that you need to know where that is. So that'll lock into the end of your sleeve. Okay? Then you need to know where the center of your seam is on the shoulder, which you do because you've seamed it. And so that's an easy. I don't need to mark it. I also want you to look at your garment, and I want you to mark where you were doing a series of bind-offs for the underarm, and then the bind-offs quit and you just did straight knitting up. And I want you to find that point on both sides, and that point is right there, and I want you to mark that one. And on the back side it should match. On the back side that point is right there where the armhole decrease is stopped, and then you were just knitting straight up. So there's your key points on the garment, and your key points on the sleeve are the center of the sleeve. So you just fold it in half and find the center, which I happen to know is right there. So the center of the sleeve row would be, I'd say, this row right here. That's the center. And then I want you to mark the end, the very edge of your sleeve when you started. Oh, actually you don't need to mark it because you've marked it here. Sorry. So what I want you to do is take one of the center points of your armhole, unlock your lock, and you're going to put this is the way your sleeve would go. So you're going to lock in. I have a bit of a pull on this one. You're going to lock in that point. That's a known point. And the other side of the sleeve, that end matches to this side of the underarm. I think I keep calling it underhole. Sorry about that. Okay. And that's like that. Okay, and then I want you to lock your top of your sleeve to the center seam of your garment, like that. There it is. And then I want you to just shape your sleeve. You can hold the bottom until it sort of matches up with your sweater. And don't ever lose that point. That's a critical point, but find that on your sleeve where it seems to flow. I'm going to make it right there. Okay, and lock that in. Okay, so now I'm going to do a bit of playing here. So I want this to match up. How does that match up? That's a key one. That's a key one. Just doing a little bit of matching here. Yeah, that's feeling about right. So I'm going to lock in a couple more just so I will secure my knitting. Okay. All right. So I want you to do that and do that with the other side of the sleeve here. I haven't done that with the other side yet. So you go ahead and do that. I have it pinned, and I just want to show you, you can use ordinary safety pins as well for this if you have small ones. They work just as well as these fancy little ones that sometimes you pay too much money for. So, okay, so next you're going to need some yarn to do the seaming, and what I do is I go, so there roughly is one side of the arm, right? And then that is the other side of the arm. Okay, so that's doing one side, and then I'm going to double it. And I hate to run out, so this is where I get a little paranoid. Double it, and then I'm going to triple it, and then I'm going to quadruple it, and then I'm going to snip it. And I know I have enough to do the seaming. Then what I want to do is fold this in half like that, and what we're going to do is start on the top, and we're going to work one side of the sleeve down and then pick it up and work the other side of the sleeve down. And so I'll just grab a crochet hook here, and I'm just going to start the yarn on halfway through. So I got to find the point. Okay, so this is the mattress stitch where when you're on the when you are on the row, the line of stitches, there is a line of stitches, and in between is a channel, and if you pull the channel apart, there's a bar. And what we're going to be doing on this straight part of the sweater, where there was no decreasing in the armhole, we find the last row of stitches, which was actually along the edge here, and this row here, and in between are bars, and those are the bars I'm going to pick up. And I will start by just getting my thread in there. Whoop, might help if you had thread your needle. That was good. Thread the needle. Okay, there we go. Thread the needle. I could have used the crochet hook too. Anyway, so I'm going to find that row right there and pop it up. Okay, and just get the center point of that roughly, and just getting it roughly. Okay, and so the one half of this yarn, this long yarn, is going to stay inside for a moment so that I can now work this direction. Got my yarn. Now the first thing we're going to do is look for the center stitch of your, or the center part of your sleeve, and the stitches will form V's. Let me zoom that in a little. Hopefully that clears up in a minute. Yeah. Okay, so you will see little V's as they get near to your bound off edge, and what you need to do is find that V and grab those legs and pull it through. And this is the first one, and I've got that long thread, so I can't pull it too tight right at the moment. I can take my stitch marker out. Okay, all right. So I've picked up the legs of the two V's. Now I go back, the V's. Now I go back and I'm looking in between this edge row and this row, and there's a bar. See, pull it apart. You see the bars in there? And you pick up one or two. It's going to vary. I really don't have an answer to you as to how many. It's to whatever fits, and I gently pull it. I'm not going to pull it extremely tight just yet. I'll do about 4 stitches and then I'll start to pull it tight. So you can see where it has joined with the V. It's actually made its own V into the bar of that on this part of your garment. There's the next V. I'm going to grab that next V and I'm going to pull that, make my stitch, and go into the next bar. And I think I will grab 2 again. Sometimes you're grabbing 2, sometimes you're grabbing 1. Just depends on how things fit. There are 2. The trick to ensuring a nice mattress seam is, especially along the shoulder, make sure that you're picking up from the same, what I call channel, or the bars raise, because if you pick up a bar from here and then next time you accidentally pick up a bar from this row, your knitting won't look neat. You're going to see funny edge stitches pulled. So just ensure you're sticking to the same channel as you pick those up. So go ahead and do that until you get to where the stitches are starting to form weird angles. They're no longer perpendicular to horizontal. Actually, I told you to go ahead and do that, but what I want you to do is knit a few more, and I'm going to pull it tight. I just want you to see how that looks. Sorry about that. Not only is this hard to, it's a challenge. You shouldn't be scared of it. It is a challenge to assemble. It's also a challenge to film this. Oh dear, I don't know. This is sort of the bane of everybody's sweater assembly, but it's where you take your time and I don't know, it can be quite rewarding too. Okay, I'm going to do one more here. There's another V. Come here, V. There we are. Whoops. That's an odd looking V. There it is. There's the V. Okay. So I have enough there, and I don't want to leave that as my seam, so I'm going to grab this end because it's the other end for doing the other side, and I just gently pull and do a little bit of back and forth till it feels right, and there is the beginning of the seam. So just continue that. I'll pick the video up in a bit. I'm getting close to that point on my sweater where the side of the garment starts getting into the shaping on the underarm, which was this pin. So I'm going to just film the rest of this to show you there is no rhyme or reason for a while. Right now I'm still on the straight point. I'll just quietly knit this so you can see what I'm doing. This is where I really don't know what the best method is, because you're not at 90 degrees to each other. You're starting to shape into different angles, and the bars start becoming not so evident on the garment itself. But the V's on the sweater should remain fairly consistent, or on the sleeve. So that's okay. Just keep going with your V's on the sleeve. But this is where it gets entertaining. I just try to... I think what I'm going to do now is start picking up... You know, I put one in there, see? And I don't like that. And it happens. This happens to us. I'm going to back this out a little. I'm just worried this is blurring too much. I don't like where that one came in. See what I mean by it's an art form? So I'm just going to pull that out. Where is it? Hello, where are you? There you are. Just going to pull that guy out. Was not happy with how that looked. And I am sure somebody down the road is going to watch this video and go, Monica, did you not know there's a real easy way to do this? And I would have gone, why, thank you. That's what I needed. Somebody to show me how. Okay, maybe I will try... I'll try this. I think I'm going to start moving into V, picking up V. All right. This is a V. A little bit sideways of a V, but... And then this would be... This would be the V here and here. Let's have a look. That. There's a V, and there's the V. I'm not going to pull that too tight in there just yet, because I'm not sure I'm going to like this. And this is a V, and that's a V. Let's have a look at that. Am I going to be happy with that? And that's a V, and that's a V. If I pull that tight, will I be happy with that? I think I might be. Let's just pull that little section tight. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Okay, and now we're getting into where the pieces are like that. And then it's just V to V. There's no bars involved. Bars. Who knew there'd be bars in knitting? What an exciting place. Okay, so we got that. And then there's the next V. Like that. And that one. There's the, hard to see. There's the next V. There we go. It's starting to jive. See? See how that's matching up? You can't even tell where the where you stopped knitting and where you started. Like that. And like, come on, V. Upside down V. There we go. I think that's filling in the underarm quite well. Okay, so I'll just finish that up here, and then what I want you to do is, whoops, let's back that out. Then what I want you to do is flip it over and do the other side, and I'll show you when it is done. Okay. Okay, I'm just picking this up. What you want to do to ensure the shoulder is nice is make sure you are following the same channel. And this is the edge where that meets with the sweater, so I want to make sure I pick up the bars from in that channel. You don't want to accidentally go over a row, because that will show on your shoulder seam for sure. Okay, and then continue along with in this case now it's upside down V's because I work from the other side. I think just one stitch there. Coming up in the end, and it is a labor of love. I mean, you have to do this when you have the time and you're in the mood. If you're not in the mood for this, don't do it. And there is one more V like that. And that is actually going to hook into this last V here. And voila. And our sleeves match up. Perfect. You did it. Good for you. And we can have a look at it. And there it is from the back and from the front. And it's a lovely sleeve. Good job.